clan, this is just an update to let you all know what's going to be happening with E3 and all that, like how am I going to be covering it, and also what's to come up on the channel quite briefly after E3. Firstly, as I say, if you don't follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you already know one of my plans for E3, and it's something that I didn't do. I think I did it partially last year. I can't remember if I did it. I think I might have done it with the MD and all that. We watched we watched the press conferences and showed our live reactions and uploaded the channel. I have a horrible memory. I do apologise. But I am going to do something similar to that this year. Now I won't be doing it with Ability, MD, Insanity because Ability I believe is busy, and Lady Insanity and Gamer MD3 are actually going to E3. They're actually going Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think Tuesday and Wednesday. I know that they 2 days they are confirmed going because they have interviews they're going to be doing. So if you want to see interviews, check out their channel. They're going to be doing apparently quite a few interviews, so that's going to be interesting to see them. Can't wait to see what they're going to ask, because they always ask the questions I want to answer. Yeah, not me. But yeah, sadly, as I say, I am not going to E3 as I'm still in my room here. Because I can't afford it. I did initially try to save up. If you follow my channel for any length of time, you know I said last year I'm going to try and save up to go to E3 this year. Unfortunately, due to family emergencies and other reasons, including having to get some dental work done, I wasn't able to afford to go. Money is scarce, and I wasn't able to find a job at all. So that's a bit disappointment, and I am going to try and find some work and save up to go next year. Fingers crossed. But I'll get to that another time. I don't want to promise anything. But let's get back to this year's E3. If you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you already know what I'm going to be doing with the press conferences. I've been asked by a few people. I asked on Twitter, Facebook, and also on YouTube as well. Do you want my live reactions to the press conferences? And I got a resounding hell yes by a lot of people. So I am going to be filming my live reactions to the press conferences. As soon as the press conferences start, I'm going to record them, and then once the press conference starts, I'm going to edit into a highlight reel of the best reactions that I gave, or as it says, I got hair stuck in my glasses. Yeah, I got hair stuck in my glasses. Give my live reaction to the stuff that basically the exciting ones, not the boring ones. I'm just sitting going, this is boring as shit. And I'll only upload the press conference reaction videos that are worth uploading. Like, say the Nintendo one comes up and nothing from Nintendo interests me, and it's just me going, okay, that's usual Nintendo shit. I'm not going to upload anything. But for like the Microsoft, EA, Sony ones, depending on what gets announced and depending on what they show, I will film I am going to be filming my live reactions, so you will see that. Do not worry about that. Of course, I'll be doing my live reactions to the BioWare stuff. That'll be in the full recordings, and I will edit them all into a little highlight reel for each press conference. Now, I am going to. That's just a bit of a heads up for Monday. I am going to be trying to upload these reaction videos as soon as I can. So Monday there might be a good influx of videos. But they will probably be very short videos because the press conferences may run for an hour, but I think I'll only get my best reactions out of certain things. So most of the videos will probably be no more than 5 to 10 minutes long, I'm betting, depending on what excites me. But I will film my live reactions. I will use one to that. I'm going to give you that. And then once I film my live reactions for all the press conferences throughout the day, I will film my I need to ask, do you want me to give my review of all of the press conferences as a whole and tell you what one I like the best, or would you prefer me to do individual videos for each press conference? Like, I'll talk about the Nintendo press conference, my full thoughts after thinking about it for a day or so about the press conferences, or would you rather me just watch all the press conferences, get my reaction videos up, and then the following day upload a video of my overall thoughts on the press conferences as a general, telling you what my favourite things were, what I didn't like about it, the best press conference, that kind of thing. I will do that if you want it, but I need to know, what do you want me to do each press conference individually, or do you want me to do just one big video on all the press conferences in general? Because that's something that I normally do, but I'll leave it up to the clan about what you want. There is another one or two things I said. Depending on what gets announced, As I said, I will be covering the BioWare stuff. Do not worry about it. I absolutely love BioWare, and I cannot wait to see what they have. Of course, we'll be having Dragon Age Inquisition. I will tell you as soon as I find out stuff about it, as soon as they reveal shit, as soon as I get more information. Once the information is released, I will give my full thoughts on anything shown at E3 about Dragon Age Inquisition. If there's a trailer, like a new trailer, and not just if there's gameplay, I might show a bit of that. But if there's a full trailer for Dragon Age Inquisition, a new brand spanking new trailer that we haven't seen before, I will try and do a trailer analysis video of it. I will have to mute the video and slow it down and edit it a little bit to avoid any copyright problems, because anytime I've done them in the past, I've had some minor issues, but once I've taken them down, edited them a little bit and put them back up, they've been fine. I will contact BioWare just in case and say, do I have permission, before I do my trailer analysis, could I please have your permission? I will contact them and say if it's okay if I do a trailer analysis of it. I will try and get in touch with some people BioWare to see if it's okay for me to do that. They've had no problem with me doing it in the past, but I will ask them just in case. So of course, the BioWare, the new IPs, and Mass Effect. The next Mass Effect game, a lot of people are speculating right now. I've already given my thoughts on it but I will do them briefly here. Some people were saying it's called Mass Effect Contact, I think, if memory serves me. Right now, I think that's just a rumor. It's not a confirmed name. Really, there was not much known about the next Mass Effect game, and in all honesty, at E3, I really don't expect a lot from it. I expect at the most we'll get a title confirmation and a teaser trailer. I think that's all we're going to get. And some people are speculating that it's going to be set during the First Contact War, which, if you're not familiar with your Mass Effect lore, was a time in which the humans got in contact with the Turians after going through the mass relay, and a little bit of a war started. It lasted a few years, but it eventually did cool down. It was a brief time in the Mass Effect universe. And it wasn't that far back from Mass Effect 1. Captain Anderson fought in it, so it shows you it wasn't that far back. It was only like a couple of decades, not a lot in time passed. Depending on what the show, I will talk about that. I will do probably a whole video on... I'll probably do a whole video on Dragon Age Inquisition, and then I'll do a whole video on the other BioWare stuff, including anything from Mass Effect that they announced, which I'm going to be honest, I do not expect a lot to be announced about Mass Effect. Mass Effect, I'm not even going to call it Mass Effect 4, the next Mass Effect. If you want me to give my honest opinion, I hope it's not set during the Contact War. I hope it's another RPG and it's set after Mass Effect 3, and it's the beginning of a new trilogy. Or a completely standalone game set in the Mass Effect universe that is an RPG. I'm hoping for that. I really, really, really am hoping for that. I would rather not go back to the past, because we all know... That's my own problem with prequels. We know how it fucking ends. We're not going to be surprised by a lot. I would rather them concentrate on doing the games after Mass Effect. I mean, if you want to know what events during the First Contact War, just read these books. Like Revelations does not go... It's set after the First Contact War, but it's set... not long after the First Contact War, and it talks a lot about it, and I'd rather them if they could leave the stuff that happened in the past and do it in book form or movie form or TV series or animated series, that kind of thing. I would rather them do that. The stuff that happened in the past, I'd rather them concentrate on that in the books material, because it gives them a lot of stuff rather than the games, in all honesty, if you want me to give my opinion. As for their other two IPs that are unconfirmed at this time, BioWare have been I think it's like 2 or 3 IPs apparently, and BioWare have been very tight-lipped about this, not giving anything out of there. There is wild speculation on what it can be. The next KOTOR game, Jade Empire 2, Command and Conquer. There's speculation up the ass right now. I have some theories. As I say, I'm still in the vain hope that Jade Empire 2 will come one day. I don't know why I even bother praying for that, because it probably will never happen. BioWare have stated in the past that it's not an IP that if they think of anything to do with it, they may do it if they can do it, and I hope they can, because Jade Empire was fantastic, and I can't really want Jade Empire 2. I wouldn't mind BioWare maybe diving into something they haven't done before. They've done fantasy, they've done sci-fi, they've done martial arts. I would like it if maybe they dived into something like steampunk or the supernatural, like a supernatural RPG with vampires, werewolves, magic, that kind of thing. I wouldn't mind that kind of RPG because I think it would be interesting, even if it's a supernatural RPG in which you play a supernatural being hunter or something along those lines. I think that could be rather interesting. And as a steampunk game, steampunk's really fucking starting to pick up in popularity, and I do think that if it was done right, it could be absolutely fantastic. Other ones, I say, there's a couple, one or two here, but I'll keep them to myself right now because they're wishful thinking, and it says whatever BioWare decide to do, hopefully it'll be good. I have faith in BioWare that whatever they touch, they will be good. So I will do a full video on BioWare stuff. Don't worry about that. If you want to hear interviews from BioWare, go check out MD and Lady Insanity. I do believe they're going to be getting a couple interviews from BioWare people. I can't. I'm not. I don't think I'll ever be able to interview any of the BioWare staff anytime soon. Maybe in the future after E3, I'll try and get an interview somewhere down the line. But right now, I'd rather not badger them while they're in while they're working on Dragon Age Inquisition, and probably I can imagine a lot of them are stressed as hell right now, so I don't want to badger them. Maybe after E3's calmed down a little bit, I'll get in touch with them, maybe get an interview, but I can't promise anything. I don't even know if they'd let me interview any of them, but I didn't think they'd send me that big poster I've got out there. But yeah, outside of BioWare, I will be covering anything else that piques my interest at E3. I know the Order 1886 is going to be there. I'm a bit skeptical in that game right now, especially with some of the stuff that one of the developers said of recently involving frame rate. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'll let the game speak for itself. Star Wars stuff as well. I suppose we're going to get a couple of Star Wars games confirmed or revealed there. There's rumours flying about, but I don't put too much weight in rumours unless I hear from the mouth itself. As I says, I will be keeping an eye out for anything that piques my interest. As I says, games, devices, news, and I will cover the press conferences. Do not worry about that. I just don't know what else will be announced. I don't want to promise anything that unless I think it's worth talking about. If there is anything that's been announced at E3 that you would like me to talk about, I'll talk about it. So if you want to do that, while I'm watching the E3 live press conferences, or like as is of the day of the press conference, anything that's announced during it, all you have to do is send me a message on Facebook, tweet me. Excuse me. Just contact me. Just say, oh, I would mind your opinion on this, and I don't mind it. If you want me to cover something, if enough people ask me to cover it, I'll probably do it. You're the reason I do this. So if there's anything you want my opinion on at E3, once the press conferences are done, or once the event is done, or anything that's announced at all, don't hesitate to contact me and ask me, okay? I don't mind. I answer most of the messages I get. Other than that, I don't think there's much else I say. If you want to watch E3 coverage, probably go and check out MD's channel and Lady Insanity. They are at E3. Really jealous of them right now, but I wish them the best of luck. And I hope they have a good time, and here's hoping that I can join them next year. Depending if they're going or not, because I don't know if I'll be able to go big F right now. But I will let you all know in the future. But that's about everything I'm going to cover. After E3 is done, I am going to be doing an Ask the Warrior, so I don't know when I'll do it. As it is, I'll probably be bogged up with a lot of E3 stuff, but I will try and cover do an Ask the Warrior this month later down the line. I am actually going to be starting some volunteer work shortly, so my schedule is going to be a little bit more hectic, but I will try and work around that. Do not worry about it. Other than that, I think that's everything. As I said, if there's anything E3 you want me to cover, please let me know. Other than that, I think that's everything. So I thank you for watching. As always, I'm Scottish Warren 92. I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now. Mwah. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If you want to help this channel out in any way, shape or form, you can hop over to my Patreon page and donate a minimum of $1 a month to help towards resources for the channel, licenses, equipment and other resources. And hopefully you will consider at least having a little look at my Patreon page, which is linked in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.